Hey everyone, this is MusicTechHelpGuy, and today I'm checking out the DVR-250DT digital vintage reverb unit from TC Electronic. So just to be clear, the DVR-250 is a digital vintage reverb plugin with a hardware interface to control it. The hardware unit connects over USB for power and control of the DVR-250. The plugin can be downloaded from the TC Electronic website, and just plugging in the hardware unit authorizes the plugin. This unit models the EMT-250 digital reverb, which was the first commercially available digital reverb released back in 1976. The hardware unit has a very distinct look as well. This is modeled after the look of the original unit, but a heck of a lot smaller. The original unit also cost $20,000 on its debut in 1976, and they're pretty much impossible to find nowadays. So $350 US will get you a smaller desktop version with faithful emulations of the original reverb sounds in the EMT-250 unit. So I've got the DVR-250 plugin pulled up here in Logic, and I've got it assigned as an effects send on my drums. So the snare, the toms, overhead, and room mics. I'll just pull up one of these signature presets to start. I'll go with the snare room, number 93, and I'll pull up the reverb amount up to 100%. Since I'm using the plugin on an aux track as an effects send, I want this to be 100% wet signal coming from the aux track, no dry signal, so that's why I'm pulling this up to 100%. So let's give this a listen. I'll bypass the effects sends first, and then I'll kick in the reverb. And for the next few examples, I'll just work with the snare top and snare bottom tracks, just so you can get an idea of what this sounds like isolated on a single instrument. Each of the buttons on the bottom represent a different type of effect, so this is actually more than just a reverb unit. You've got reverb, delay, phase, chorus, echo, and space. So as you choose an option here, you'll also see it selected in the plugin. So I'll go back to reverb. And let's say that I want my snare reverb to last a little bit shorter overall, but I want it to be a little bit brighter. Well, you'll see that each of the levers in the plugin control a particular parameter depending on what effect you're using. So if I go back to reverb here, my white knob, the first knob, is controlling the overall decay time of the reverb. The second lever is controlling the low frequency decay time. The third lever is controlling the high frequency decay time, and the fourth lever is controlling the pre-delay. So if I want my reverb to be a little bit shorter overall, I could pull down the decay lever here to adjust the decay time of the reverb overall. But if I want more highs to stay in, I could pull up the high decay time. So let's give that a shot. So you can actually press and hold on the levers to make faster adjustments. You don't have to just sit here and click individually. You can just click and hold and get to the value that you want to get to. Also note that the hardware unit has meters at the top to show you the input and output levels. Let's try out some reverb, delay, and space on vocals. So I've just got the first preset pulled up here, the Ballad vocal preset. And this time I have the DVR-250 loaded directly on the channel strip, so I'm going to pull down the reverb amount so it's not 100%.
Do you think if I jumped in the river, I would sink or it would make things clearer? River, carry me to the sea. Got out of the chaos, I'm so grateful, can't ever pay it off.
Let's try out the delay. So with the delay, you can adjust the tap coarse tuning or timing, really, as well as the fine timing. So the tap coarse option adjusts in intervals of 20 milliseconds, and then the fine adjustment is in intervals of 5 milliseconds. The tap select is the tap type. There's 4 different options for this. And then there's the pre-delay.
Do you think if I jumped in the river, I would sink or it would make things clearer? River, carry me to the sea. Got out of the chaos, I'm so grateful, can't.
Let's try out all 4 of the different tap types.
River, carry me to the sea. Got out of the chaos, I'm so grateful, can't ever pay it off. Like myself a little better. Do you think if I jumped in the river, I would sink or it would make things clearer? River, carry me to.
I like type number 4 the most. It seems to be the most open sounding. Next, let's play around with the space effect. With this one, there's only one control on the 4th lever for pre-delay. So if you want a larger sounding space, you can pull this up. If you want a smaller sounding space, you can pull this down. So the space effect is good for big ambient spatial effects.
Do you think if I jumped in the river, I would sink or it would make things clearer? River, carry me to the sea. Got out of the chaos, I'm so grateful, can't ever pay it off.
Yeah, I love that. It's really cool. It's just this really ghostly, haunting reverb effect, just creating a really ambient space and environment, almost like a reverb bed for the vocal to sit on. So this is great for ambient and softer music. All right, let's try this out with a vocal that's a bit more aggressive.
Why do we always have to say goodbye? Do we always have to live and die? Can't we live this life for each other?
And I think the phase is more like almost like an ensemble type effect. There's 2 controls, curve and pre-delay. Let's play around with this and try to give the vocal a bit more body and thickness. If this doesn't work, I'll try out the chorus.
Why do we always have to say goodbye? Do we always have to live and die? Can't we live this life for each other?
Oh yeah, that's really cool. It's a nice like doubler effect. Let's pull down the pre-delay a bit.
Why do we always have to say goodbye? Do we always have to live and die? Can't we live this life for each other?
Yeah, that's really, really cool. Just put it on an aux track or blend it in here, and you've got a really nice doubling effect. Let's try out the chorus.
Why do we always have to say goodbye? Do we always have to live and die? Can't we live this life for each other? Oh, so many times I've told you, in so many ways I've shown you. Why do we have to say goodbye?
Yeah, I think I like the phase effect more than the chorus, but still a nice, cool, vintage chorus sound. Let's try out the echo.
Why do we always have to say goodbye? Do we always have to live and die? Can't we live this life for each other? Oh, so many times I've told you, in so many ways I've shown you. Why do we have to say goodbye?
Yeah, so that's like a slapback echo or like a slapback delay. The feedback control, the third lever, is going to control essentially the density of the echo. Let's go back to the phase effect. I really like that one.
Why do we always have to say goodbye? Do we always have to live and die?
So let's say I wanted to save that as a preset that I can recall later. All you do is click on the menu and click Save As and give it a name. So I'll call this Vocal Thickener Phase. And it pops up as a user preset that I can recall at any time. You can also assign your presets to certain patch numbers or favorites. So if I click here, go to my phase settings, it looks like number 63 is open because 62 is the last one being used. So I can click Assign, go to 60, then go to 63, and I can assign that preset to 63. Now, if you want even more control with the levers, one thing you can do is you can press the Set button here on the hardware unit, and what this will do is it will switch the levers over to a second set of controls. So I can click Delay, click Set. You can see there's 3 additional controls. If I go to Phase, there's the main 2. Click Set, and there's 2 additional controls, and so forth and so on. So there's even more customization you can do here. All right, guys, that's pretty much it. That's the TC Electronic DVR-250DT. Lately, I've been using the East-West Spaces 2 reverb ever since it came out as my primary reverb, but this thing is probably going to make me switch over, at least for vocals. I love the fact that you have great sounding reverbs, great sounding ambient spaces, but also that phase effect is great for just adding a bit of thickening and modulation to voice. I don't think this is going to replace instrumental reverbs for me. I know there's some presets in here that sound really, really good for strings, but for instruments like acoustic guitar, strings, synths, and things like that, I'll probably still go with East-West, and I often use just Space Designer and Chromaverb a lot for synthesizers. But I think this is probably going to be my new go-to reverb for vocals, at least for the time being. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please leave it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel to see more content like this. You can also check me out on social media, on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and if you'd like to make a monthly contribution to the channel, you can check me out on Patreon as well. I hope you enjoyed the video, and thanks for watching.